Hi guys, Ron here and welcome to the workshop. As you may know, this week is Nationals Week in most of the world, and my main goal for this season is actually participating in the Slovak National Elite Time Trial Championship. And I've been informing you about my progress always since January with different changes that I've done to my setup and my bike. And unfortunately, some of the developments haven't been finished by the time we hit Nationals time, but this will be the setup that I will be using on race day on Thursday, so 2 days from now. I know you like to know all the details, so let's just delve straight into them and we can start from the front of the bike. So in January I've had my position aero tested by Aero Coach, both on the track and in the wind tunnel. The result you can see here. It's a UCI legal setup, of course it has to be. Lengthwise it's nothing special. The height is borderline with the 10 centimeter maximum extension rule in terms of vertical height. I'm using the Trek mono plug-in style extensions. I'd like to point out one thing that has been brought to my attention. In previous videos I said that I switched to this setup. A lot of people have, because when the new UCI rules were released in October, it made the mono extension illegal because of the cross section it has, larger than 40 millimeters. Now recently they have made an exemption to that rule, so the mono extension is legal again. Although I'd like to point out that those use quite old school dimensions, so you can't really get into a modern, very aero position in any of those while still being UCI legal, so that's why not many people use them anymore. The cup setup unchanged for now, made by Allen Carbon, stacked up using Trek's own proprietary hardware. The extensions are USE 40 degrees, cut down again to get into the 10 centimeter rule. The foam is custom cut, not very nicely done. I have to admit I'm not the best at this. I have to re-glue it because as I was riding this setup, the foam pads just kept sliding towards the inside, so now they're like they should be. The Wahoo mount is a 3D printed unit from Shapeways. Very neat stuff. Has very nice integration and very nice feel to it. You can see the markings here. This is where my hand position is, again to get into the UCI rule while maintaining my position. I can't really hold the whole length of the bar just like this. Another change that I've made is I've opted for some Rule 28 aero gloves to clean up the airflow around my hands. I like to also tell you something about the wheel set. Previously I've been using the MV78 on the front and the Rowell 321 disc on the rear. Now I started my collaboration with Aero Coach, and they have this prototype wheel which is much faster than the MV, much deeper as well, coming in at 100 mil. It will be released soon, and it's super fast, pretty much the fastest wheel around. I will be able to tell you more about this in August. And the rear disc is special too, set up tubeless on both ends with Vittoria Corsa Speed graphene tires. This has been slightly improved in comparing to the previous model, so 10% lower rolling resistance, a small gain there. Regarding the skewers, I'm sure many of you will ask again, as you have asked many times. This is a View Speed titanium skewer that I've been using for years now. Very reliable, very aero, very light. Here you can see one of the special features of the Aero Coach wheel, the super narrow hub with the aero flanges. And then coming back towards the rear of the bike, the frame set, of course, Track Speed Concept size S like before. Dash Stage 9 saddle. Also, I've been using this for years, very happy with it still. Quark D0 power meter, short 165mm cranks, pyramid cycle design, 58 tooth chainring, Aero Coach, Aero chain guard, chain keeper, whatever you call it, for that extra security. Chain wise, I'm going to use a Ceramic Speed UFO coated chain, but the Shimano version, despite running a SRAM drivetrain. The reason for this is that they offer also a KMC chain which has slotted pins which cause a bit of a power loss in the stretch, and the Shimano chain itself has the least friction, plus the plates here are solid, so there's even less loss in the drivetrain. This is pretty much the fastest option in the world in terms of 11-speed chains. Another reason I haven't upgraded this bike to 12-speed yet is, of course, the drivetrain friction, because of this chain also. And then for the Ceramic Speed pulley wheels, now previously I had black ones. This is the special Giro edition that I got from my girlfriend. It's pink, a bit of a girly color. I have it for good luck, so I hope it will help. Then of course you can also see the very aggressively curved Aero Coach disc here. On the back I have a SRAM Red 11-28 cassette. For now it's a standard Molten Speed Wax coated chain, which I will use for one more ride tomorrow, and then I go into full race mode. And since it's the Nationals, I also did some special preparation for the bike that I don't normally do, and it involves this. This is Ceramic Speed Tanchal grease. As you can see, I haven't really used much of it, and it's a super low density grease with basically the same resistance as regular oil. And what I've done is I took all the bearings, so the bottom bracket, the wheels, and stripped them out of its factory grease and put in a small amount of this grease for the lowest possible resistance. So that's really a marginal gain, but I've done it here for this event. Otherwise I can't really recommend it because it's a lot of work, but it saves a watt maybe, or even two if I'm lucky. Of course the jockey wheels run only on oil, so that's the absolute slowest friction, but in the other bearings that's not enough protection. Also on the bottom bracket bearings, since the track has the brake on the lower part, the bottom bracket area is very closed up, and that means I had the liberty to remove the inner side seals of the bearings for even lower friction, because you don't really need that protection, nothing really can get in from the inside. So I had that. I've also put in a lighter grease in the speed plate pedals, so they turn more freely. And that's pretty much it in terms of my setup. I'm still continuing to use my No Pins skin suit, which has been custom made for me in January. The Kask Mistral helmet, and as I mentioned, the Rule 28 Aero gloves, plus the Aero Coach trip socks in my S-Works Sub 6 shoes. So this is my setup for now. Last time we measured it, my CDA was 0.176. With these couple of modifications regarding the wheels, etc. I think we went down a little bit. I've also changed my Q factor on the shoes for the narrowest front end possible, so that also cuts a tiny bit of drag. And as I said, I have a couple more modifications coming in later in the year for some other TTs. Unfortunately they're not available now, but we'll get even faster than this, hopefully. Okay, so this is my setup for the TT Nationals. If you want to see how it went, then don't forget to tune into my Strava account. It's all for today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.